Hello, everybody, and welcome to Memphis, Tennessee for race number 6 on the series for the Subway Cup Series. It is the Sunoco Race Fuels 350. I'm Travis Crampton, and alongside me, as always for this series, is Nathan Stapleton.
Welcome back, and it's great to be here in Memphis, Tennessee. Not really a track we see a lot that often, and the track not seen ever in my side of the 2003 series world, and definitely a unique racetrack here today, and put on a show for sure.
Yeah, this track, it is a combination of Iowa and Richmond, but also with a few elements mixed in. This track is 0.75 of a mile like Richmond and Iowa, but the turns are a lot less round, and they're also have a lot less banking. Only 11 degrees of banking here at Memphis, which is really going to take a toll on these guys' engines, cars, suspension, and tires. So these guys better have done their ratings for their car, because this thing is going to be a very interesting race. Clean air is going to be very important. What do you think that's going to do to these cars?
Well, I think based off of what we saw in practice, I think clean air is definitely going to be the name of the game. If you start up front, like a couple of these drivers up towards the front, like Ace Garcia and Logan Williams especially, and basically I think in the top 10 is where you want to start. I think with clean air being such an important factor here today, it's going to be interesting on who has the best car and who has the best driver here, because if we're stuck in the hornet's nest in the back, it could be a little bit wild.
Yep, it's going to be a wild 88 laps here at Memphis, and pit stops are going to be right around the halfway mark. Lap 46 to 48 is the pit window, is when you start to see these guys coming in for 4 tires and fuel. So one stop, we may see a caution early, we may not, and we also may see a caution during pit stops, which would shake things up for sure. Hopefully everybody rolls off, and the top 10 and the rest of the starting lineup will be on the side of your screen. And it is Logan Williams and Colin Teague on the front row, followed by Ace Garcia and John Andrews, last week's winner, William Ayers and Juan Garcia, and then Angel Gutierrez and Andrew Miller, and then rounding out the top 10 is Trey Smith and Chris Jericho. Nathan, should be a very interesting race. Who is your pick to win here at Memphis?
Well, I'm liking a driver starting inside the top 5. I think clean is going to be important. I'm going to go with William Ayers to get the job done here today.
It's a solid pick. He's had a pretty solid season so far. 88 laps here at Memphis. A new track to most of these guys and to the NR world. Who's going to get the job done for the Sunoco Race Fuels 350? It was a very solid first lap from all of these people. William Ayers a little bit loose off of turn 4. He's going to go side by side with Colin Teague for that 3rd position. Meanwhile, Ace Garcia and Logan Williams, like we said, clean air is going to be important. They're trying to run away from the field.
Those top 2 drivers, possibly some of the better drivers here on the channel. Of course, both of them made into the JBL Cup Series chase, and both of them 1-2 here at the moment. Ayers might have a little bit of a loose car though, because it's gone sideways a couple times now on the outside. As Gutierrez and Trey Smith is going to get kicked to the inside of him. Trey Smith's going to try and force the 33 up, and he does, and now it's going to be interesting. I think the inside lane is going to be the place you want to be here today, and right now it's looking to be the case. Ayers might have been strong the first lap too, but I think he might be a little bit loose in that 33. As the 15 of Elijah Gordon's on the inside lane, the 13 of Jacob Miller, and watch out for last week's winner at track similar to this, John Andrews.
Yep, Phoenix. And he led almost every lap in that race and led by a dominating fashion. And we'll see if he can do that again this week. But that's going to be a little bit different task. He started on the front row last week, has to start a little bit further back this week, and we'll see if he can work his way through the field. Meanwhile, back here, these guys all jostling for position. You got cars going 2 and 3 wide, and Chase Miller getting a little racy for last, making it 3 wide. Almost hit the tire barrier and attenuator, and that would have been a caution right there, but luckily he didn't. Your 2 drivers, Nathan, are currently nose to tail on the outside lane trying to get around Anthony Hernandez in the 3. But meanwhile, up front, Ace Garcia trying to catch Logan Williams, but still a second lead. And but Ace Garcia has that Angel Gutierrez machine all over him.
Ace Garcia got caught by Gutierrez, and now it looks like Logan Williams lost a little bit last time by, and I think the end zone is going to be the place you want to be here at Memphis, and it's going to be interesting on who has a long run car, but I'm not entirely sure how bad the tire will end up being around lap 45 or so, but you definitely want to have a long run car if this race has a long one feel like it did last time out at Phoenix. And right now, Ace Garcia and Angel Gutierrez might have a long one car as they are slowly reeling in the race leader. First bow is the 55 of Colin Teague and the 27 of Tommy Tripp. And we have battles all over the place, but yeah, definitely I think this inside lane is going to be the place you want to be for passes. The 66 of Messiano made some moves as well.
Yep, Santi Messi in the 66 machine going to the inside of William Ayers now. And some of these guys, John Andrews, he's trying to get by the 13 of Jacob Miller. And Angel Gutierrez all over the back bumper of Ace Garcia. And these guys now, Ace Garcia trying to defend his position from Angel Gutierrez, now losing some time on Logan Williams, who is trying to run away. Logan Williams has had one heck of a start to the season so far, leading the points by a whopping 32 points right now over Roberto Crown Jr. and John Andrews, tied for second. So with that pole position, that's an extra bonus point. So we'll see what he can do with that. Also, now battle for second is Andrew Gutierrez is going to get by that Ace Garcia machine, and now Trey Smith trying to follow suit.
I think Ace Garcia might have a short run car, because the 31 of Gutierrez quickly caught up to him, and I think he was only these guys up because now Logan Williams has a 2-second lead when it was a 1-second lead. So unfortunately, Ace Garcia might not have a long run car, and he might have a short
He's
run
going to
car.
go way wide.
Oh my goodness, he might be getting tight in that 23 machine, and he's going to lose more spots here. And as soon as Gutierrez got to second, he gained a little bit last time by. And right now, I don't see Roberto Crown Jr. anywhere, but John Andrews is in the 6th position, so he will not lose too much ground on the point of Logan Williams, and it is Roberto Crown Jr.
Way back
He's
here
all
in
the way
40th.
Oh my goodness, terrible one right now for Crown Jr. and another 88.
Yeah, and that's not what that team needed. But it's still very early in this race, only lap 14 of 88. Plenty of time. There's obviously pit stops are going to happen, so plenty of time to make your changes to your race car and see what happens here. Angel Gutierrez losing time still to Logan Williams. We'll see if Logan Williams' long run car comes in or if he falls off. Last week at Phoenix, the 95 did not bring a long run car and fell back towards the middle part of the run. So we'll see if they fix that issue this week. Meanwhile, John Andrews moves to the inside of Jacob Miller for the 4th position.
And maybe this 34 might have something on these flatter racetracks here this season, because he dominated Phoenix. He started further back, but already only 16 laps in, and he's up to the 4th position. All he has to do is get past the 17 and the 31, and we could have a little bit of something similar of last week, with John Andrews trying to close in on Logan Williams for the race lead on the long one. But Logan Williams is absolutely gone. 2.5 second lead already for the point lead, and this is not good for the field here early on.
Yep, and Logan Williams 2 wins already this season, has a top 10 in every race so far this season. The only driver to do that. So Logan Williams, like I said, fantastic start to the season, but this is only race 6. You got to keep it up for the entire season.
Oh yeah, without doubt, we've seen it before on multiple different channels. I've seen it before where someone dominated early on and then didn't win the championship at the end of the season. So right now it's not all about the championship. It's really just getting as many wins as possible for bonus points for the chase. But right now, a 3-second lead for Logan wins. But meanwhile, it is very tight from second on back. As it is still a hornet's nest in the back. They'll go to the
Aaron
speaking of the hornet's
Abel into the
nest,
wall.
oh my goodness, and that could have been a bit tougher for Abel. Don't know who's so mad. Something it might have been assist.
I think it was the
That
83 of
close.
Matthew Burnett because he has a little damage to the side of his Safeway machine. So a little bit of Toyota on Toyota action, and that held up Roberto Crown. So now he has to try to get by Maxime Gautry, and he's all sorts of held up. And these guys, they're less than a half a track behind. We're definitely going to get to hit lap traffic before we reach pit stops at this rate that Logan Williams is doing. So these guys, they're trying to fight for not only position, but they are also probably going to have to try to fight to stay on lead lap.
Yeah, this track, it might not look like it being only 3/4 of a mile, but it is. It's an interesting track, like Richmond, with the curve front stretch, and with it being flat, but it's not like Richmond. It's kind of like Iowa with the longest
And
straightaway.
here comes John Andrews,
Here we
got by
go,
Trey
Andrews.
Smith.
Down for second.
Andrews has a long run car once again this week here at Memphis, and he is showing it. Got by Jacob Miller, got by Trey Smith, and easily clears Angel Gutierrez.
We might have Phoenix 2.0 happening right now between Andrews and Logan Williams. But can John Andrews gain 3 seconds, so at least 2 before pit stops? That could be a challenge, but something that is on his side though, that would be lap traffic. Because I do agree with you. I think we will see lap traffic before pit stops.
Yep, and it's only a matter of time, really, just based off the way Logan Williams has been running so far, times-wise. So Ace Garcia falling back, falling outside the top 10 now as he's getting passed by Juan Garcia. So Ace Garcia, like you said, does not have a long run car and now falls outside the top 10.
And we've seen last week at Fantasy, you want to have a long run car, and unfortunately Ace Garcia does not have that. And right now, you might want to have a long run car again. Only 25 laps into this one already, and John Andrews, he already is closing in and getting 2/10 last time by. But he's going to lose the 10th. So it's split even between Logan Williams and John Andrews right now. 2 of the best in the series are 1-2. And it might come down to these 2 for the championship.
I think Logan
at the end
Williams
of the season.
knocked the wall down because he has some side damage.
Oh, he does. Oh, boy.
So that's going to be interesting when they come to pit to see if they spend some extra time fixing the damage or if they're just going to leave it. And now, as you see, John Andrews, he has gained 2/10 that last time by, down to exactly 3 seconds that last time by. And he's pulling a gap on Angel Gutierrez, so he definitely has that long run speed. He's pulling away from the 3 cars that he just passed, the 17, 13, and the 31. And Jacob Miller got by Trey Smith, so now maybe Jacob Miller, his car is starting to maybe fire off late into this run.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I think the 95 might be okay, but how about Messi to the inside? Colin Teague, NBM, and I believe Sokol Sport.
Premium.
A premium, one smaller team, but some smaller teams having some good ones here at Memphis, and I don't know if
he's gonna go wide.
Ooh, these guys are sliding off these corners later and later on these ones. Well, on this one, I don't know how bad the fall off is, but it might be affecting these guys a little bit.
Yeah, not too much fall off right now. We have about half a second, so. But we are just past the halfway point in this run.
just past halfway, and tough race for Zachary Fitzwater with Bo Connor Jr. The 78 of unable. Also, we had his issue. Seeing the deals
Samadio.
back here.
Patrick
So,
Smith, not a good race for
hmm.
JTG. And Caleb Rose.
And that's a rarely because they've honestly been fast at ever since after Daytona. But not a good one here today, and it's gonna be interesting. About 15 to 18 laps away from pit stops, and that damage is not really affecting local millions whatsoever.
Yeah, John Andrews did a quick little charge, gained about 2/10. It was down to exactly 3 seconds, but then Logan Williams kicked it into high gear, and now it's back up to 3.8 seconds, almost 4 seconds. So whatever Logan Williams found, he's found something once again here at Memphis, and he's pulling away, but still, we got a lot of more action. We're not even at halfway. We haven't had pit stops, so long way to go. And how about Mac Johnson? He is just inside the top 20 and 17th. If I remember right, I think Penske start. I don't what's the word here?
Quote,
Yeah. Don't take it for granted, but from what I saw on the pace lap, I think Penske was in the last row. It was the 2 and the 22 in the final row. So for Mac Johnson to go from the last row all the way to like 16th, this 2 car has a lot of speed. And
oh
then
yeah,
not only
very
that,
impressive.
but Bradley Ream is even further into 12th position. So both Penske cars started bad but have a lot of speed.
Mm, they must have gone a bad qualifying lap or something, but they definitely have speed here, and definitely showing that it might be a little bit hard to pass, but it's not impossible whatsoever for those two Team Penske drivers. And it's gonna be interesting on how pit stops will cycle here, because it should happen right after halfway is 44, and what we're thinking is around lap.
Oh,
Oh
problem for
no!
Nicholas Samadio. It is a tire. A tire has gone down on the number 37 machine.
And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to make it from here. He's going to have to pay again very late.
That is unfortunate for the 37 of Nicholas Samadio, who has honestly, like you said, besides Daytona, has had a pretty good season. Heading into this race, he was 7th in points.
Yeah, not having a good one today before the tire went down, and that's going to be a double whammy. All we not one good, and then the tire goes down. Williams lost a little bit of ground, but then he's going to gain it right back, basically what he's been doing always along. And I think I hear some lap traffic potentially. And we do. We are basically a corner away from catching up to the one of the top 3 drivers in points of Roberto Connor Jr.
Yeah, Roberto Crown Jr. just hasn't been able to get around to anybody here tonight at Memphis, and stuck behind Matthew Burnett. Now he's going to try to dive to the inside of Matthew Burnett and maybe gain a spot. But, you know, it's been a rough, ever since Roberto Crown Jr. won Sonoma, it hasn't been stars and stripes. It's been pretty gloomy over at Hendrick, and I don't know if maybe they partied too hard after Sonoma or what, but they just haven't had the speed after Sonoma, and it's they're paying the price in points. And here comes Noah Clifton now, making the move to the inside of Ace Garcia.
The plummet of Ace Garcia just continues here. Keeps on falling back, does not have a long run car whatsoever, and that's very unfortunate, especially with how this race has gone. It's definitely a long one feel, and that's going to be a massive disappointment for that team, especially for starting third. And another car that has kind of disappeared is unfortunately my race pick of William Ayers, and the number 33 no longer inside the top 10 at least. And I think he's falling back even farther behind
He's
the number
22nd.
23, yeah. 22nd, and those are 2 cars that started inside the top 5, but definitely do not have a long one car.
Mac Johnson going to get by one of your drivers, Josh Williamson. And if we go a little bit further up front, Andrew Gutierrez has now gained some speed. now is all over the back bumper of John Andrews, and maybe might have a battle here for second. These guys can't decide who wants to lead in the charge to try to catch Logan Williams.
Yeah, I think Logan Williams has the best car here, but John Andrews was catching up to him a little bit. But now I think he buttoned up his stuff. Gutierrez was obviously saving his stuff, and now Cops, John Andrews might have a battle for second here between Andrews and Gutierrez. But it's been an interesting race. Kind of similar to Phoenix last week, obviously with Andrews and Logan Williams the top two. But definitely, once again, has that feel of it possibly going to the end. But they still have pit stops, and that could get wild. We are only halfway through here at Memphis for the Sunoco race fuels to 350.
Yep, and any moment now you're going to see pit stops as Matthew Burnett misses pit road but is able to get back in. Logan Williams is now entering pit road. He's doing the undercut. Here comes Angel Gutierrez, and here we go. Just past halfway, these guys going to come down pit road, and the window is open to make it to the end from here. Here comes Michael Young, Chris Jericho, William Ayers, and these guys getting real close to missing pit road, but these guys doing a good job so far. John Barrymore comes in. Here comes John Andrews. Jacob Miller going to stay out for another lap. Trey Smith. Here comes Colin Teague. And here comes a whole bunch of drivers.
And one thing that's going to be interesting is if the number 95 of Local Millions and his team decide to fix the damage from getting to the outside wall at Amelia. Oh,
man.
Because that was close right there. Because it's not really affecting him, honestly, because he had a
Santi
big
Messi!
lead. Oh, no!
Hard into the wall. Is that going to bring out a caution?
I don't think it will.
I think the caution is out. Caution is out.
Oh my goodness.
And Santi Messi, too deep into the braking zone for pit road, smashes the pit wall.
And unfortunately, for not only the local minutes, but for the field that have been done pit stops, and unfortunately for you, we might have to wait people around, and that's going to shake up everything for the second half of this one.
It's going to be, it's going to be this is a shake up and a half, and we'll see what happens. And let's take a quick break to see what brought out the caution. Here's what brought out the first caution of the day. During pit stop, Santi Messi too deep under the braking, overshoots it, goes over the curb, tries to cut back down, but too fast, hits the pit wall, the pit tires, and unfortunately, he's going to be done for the day. Elijah Gordon was able to get by that, and then a couple people had to stop to avoid hitting Santi Messi, but the only car involved was Santi Messi, but it was not the only wreck that happened, as there was one under the caution. And then, as I mentioned, this was the other incident that happened under caution. Colin Teague was coming off a pit road, trying to catch back up to the field, and Sam Odowski was trying to go down into pit road, and I just don't know what happened there. Colin Teague not happy about the caution coming out, took out his frustrations on Sam Odowski, and then, unfortunately, it just gets worse for Joe Gibbs. Chris Reynolds runs right into the back of Sam Odowski, so the season of Joe Gibbs just gets even worse right there. Welcome back to Memphis International Raceway. Only one driver is out from that. That is Santi Messi. And this race has shaken up. Logan Williams is all the way back in 22nd. And so that leaves the hands in the race of John Andrews, taking us back to green here for the Sunoco Race Fuels 350 here on lap 53, starting at lap 54. Back underway.
This could be huge for John Andrews, trying to go 2 in a row, but he has a lot of hungry drivers behind him, like Elijah Gordon, Trey Smith, Colin Teague, Jacob Miller, and others. And how about Bradley Wing as well in the number 22? Juan Garcia in the number 24, Sustry, a bunch of new faces, and this could get dicey, because now these drivers know that there's no more pit stops they can make it from here on out. and we could see the aggression pick up a little bit.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see who made adjustments to get better, and if the drivers who got unfortunately screwed during that cautionary pit stops can work their way back up front, like Logan Williams and others who were up front. And Sam Oskin with that rear end damage, he's going to try to gain some positions as well. I know Angel Gutierrez was up there. He's trying to regain those positions. So some of these guys, like a Chase Harris and a Jason Albert, who got the benefit from that caution and gained a lot of spots, are trying to hold their new track position. You got drivers like Logan Williams and Angel Gutierrez trying to get that track position back. Meanwhile, up front, Elijah Gordon's not going anywhere as we are under caution one again.
Oh,
And this time it may be for Nick Lopez and maybe Maxime Guthrie as well, but we'll have to check the replay. Looks like some skid marks down the backstretch.
well, I had to say something about the intensity picking right back up due to these guys knowing that they can make it from here with that first caution, and there it is, the second caution of the day. A tough day continues for Joe Gibbs. That's now 3 out of 4 cars with some kind of damage here. Tough one, and Whiteman Gordon was catching up to John Andrews. We're going to have another restart.
And let's take a quick break to see what brought out the caution here for the second caution of the day. And here's what brought out the first caution of the day. Nick Lopez just gets a little tight off of turn number 2 into the side of Noah Clifton, the number 5, into the outside wall. That puts Nick Lopez into the outside wall, back down the racetrack into the 6 of Maxime Guthrie. Both spin down the racetrack into the infield grass and hit the infield wall. And unfortunately for these drivers, they will receive some damage and have to go to the back and probably get their damage repaired. Like you said, Nathan, earlier, rough day for Joe Gibbs. Don't want to see that. And also, one Roush car doing good in Trey Smith, but the other one back here.
3 wide off of turn number 2. Lopez gets tight into Clifton, and nowhere to go for Maxime Guthrie, and a tough wait for all 3 drivers involved. Clifton got the least amount of damage. The 6 just spun, but unfortunately Nick Lopez got into the outside wall and the inside wall. And it's going to be interesting what ends up happening on this restart once again, and see if you can take advantage.
Welcome back here at Memphis International Raceway, going green this time by. Everyone involved in that wreck is still going. So Nick Lopez, Maxime Guthrie, and Noah Clifton are all still racing here today. John Andrews still with the race lead with 27 to go. And Elijah Gordon second, Trey Smith third, Bradley Ream now fourth, Juan Garcia fifth. It is about to get interesting. Like you said, it is ramping up. The attrition, the atrocity, everything is going to start ratcheting it up. The vice is tightening for the finish.
27 laps to go. Great restart. Pilot number 17 dives it down to the inside of Gordon, Tracy to the inside. And how about these forwards? 1, a 2, a 3 at Memphis. They cannot count the guy who, on my side of the channel, has the most wins on the channel. Juan Garcia inside the top 5. And how about Lean from the back to the front to the inside of Trey Smith?
Oh my goodness, what a corner right there. Almost the back bumper of John Andrews. On the exit, ooh, Juan Garcia's going to get a little nudge to Elijah Gordon right there. He's going to move Trey Smith up the racetrack. And what a battle. Watch out for Jacob Miller. He's going to try to make it 3 wide. He's going to move Elijah Gordon up the racetrack. And now he's going to send it into the corner.
I'm trying to get 2 birds in 1 stone. These guys are sending it out here. Late in the going. There's too many battles going everywhere. Lean to the inside of Andrews, trying to steal the pole from John Andrews, going 2 in a row. And he's going to take the race lead. Meanwhile, the 17's going to go way right behind him. Oh, not quite.
We are squeezing.
One's not happy. What is going on, Travis?
What a battle right now. These guys know that it is starting to get late in this race. Trey Smith's going to hit the wall. He's going to bounce off, but he's going to keep going. Here comes the 72 of Jordan Stout out of absolutely nowhere. He's going to go to the inside of Andrew. Nope, that's Andrew. That's Elijah Gordon, and he is going to get the pass made heading the start-finish line. Meanwhile, up front, Bradley Ring is taking the lead, and he's pulling away from John Andrews.
If we don't get another restart, we might say Bad eye to Bradley here today. He is pulling away in the number 22. And Locomotive's still stuck in the middle of the field. Gotta feel for that 95, because once he lost that clean air in drop position, he's not had the same car today. But what a restart right there. Bradley pulling away very, very fast. Juan Garcia to the back bumper of Jacob Miller, who's had a very quiet day. He's been up front for the majority of this one. Inside the top 10 now, top 5, but might lose this third position because Juan Garcia is moving in that number 24.
Yep, and he is all over that 13 like a cheap suit, trying to get the position. Jacob Miller going to get a little bit tight on exit there. It's going to give a run to Juan Garcia. Is he going to take it? Not quite yet into turn number 3. Meanwhile, back here, you're seeing Aaron Abel with some damage getting by Mac Johnson in the number 2. Tommy Tripp. Now, we got 3 RCR cars in a row. They're starting to move their way forward. Angel Gutierrez doing a lot better moving forward than, unfortunately, Logan Williams. So, and because Logan Williams getting held up by the 18 with Sam and Oskin last time I checked. Let's see if he is still getting held up by the 18. No, he's lost even more position at this point. He's now trying to recover and get by Chris Jericho. Every time he tries to get back by someone, it seems like someone else takes advantage of him. So, unfortunately, Logan Williams, it is not looking too good here. But what is looking good is this number 22, seeing that clean air out front. Lead is now up to 1.2 seconds.
Yeah, we saw this for Logan earlier. He was able to have almost a 4-second lead, but that was a lot longer of a one. This one's only going to be 27 if it stays green. But how about Bradley Williams with a great one here out front? And some shoutouts here. The 72 of Jordan Stout inside the top 5 out of nowhere. The 14 of Kenneth Miller with a good one. The 7 of Chase Harris out of nowhere. And how about the 78 of Aaron Abel? We got his shenanigans early on in that first one. Have some damage, but clearly having a little bit of damage is not affecting you. It didn't affect local ministers, it's not affecting Aaron Abel here today. And a lot of good ones are needed by some of these drivers. And at the line, it would be 16 laps to go. Time to trip to the inside of Aaron Abel.
Yeah, and Tommy Tripp, he needs this good run right now. He comes into this race 40th in points. So currently running inside the top 10. That if he keeps this up, it'll be a good points day for this RCR number 27 machine. But still, you still got a handful of laps left here. Anything can happen, especially with how these drivers are racing here late in this restart. Meanwhile, we are back here still 3 wide, scruffing everywhere for these positions. And these guys are just absolutely maneuvering for any spot they can. And Logan Williams, man, he is falling harder than a brick in a 2-foot creek. He is currently 29th right now and is just bleeding positions here at Memphis, and he's stuck on this top side, no hole in sight. And you hate to see that for Logan Williams, especially the dominant car early in the race. But sometimes you'll get that, and you know, he's had a good start to the season. And now maybe starting to cool off after Phoenix.
Well, I think if we didn't get a caution during pit stops, Logan Williams probably would have ran away exactly like what Bradley Williams is doing. The only bright side for Logan Williams is that as long as he does not finish 32 or 32, 33 positions behind John Anders, he will still be here. Well, leave here as the point leader, but John Anderson is in second, and Logan Williams keeps on dropping, and tough wait for that number 95 machine, but it's going to be interesting what ends up happening. These guys starting to settle it back down, the 32 of that San Vitale having a nice solid one inside the top 15, and some drivers that have been strong all day, like Trey Smith, like Andrew Miller, who started up front and fell back, but working his way back up towards the front. A lot of drivers and a lot of new faces making some moves up to the front. And right now, it's looking really good for Bradley Williams, doing what Logan Williams did early on with almost a 2.5 second lead.
Yep, and these guys still all over each other, though. You got Juan Garcia, who's trying to get around the Jacob Miller machine, and then you got Jordan Stout and Elisha Gordon as well back there trying to get around each other. So Things could still possibly happen here at Memphis. We've seen it before where late race shenanigans could ensue. But how about, like you said, Bradley Ream? I want to say started at the back of the field and moved his way through the front and then got lucky under that pit stop sequence with the caution coming out. Gained some positions there as well. And he is now only has 8 more laps at the line to get the job done here at Memphis. And now Jacob Miller starting to pull away a little bit from Juan Garcia. Same with Jordan Stout on Elijah Gordon. And it'll be interesting to see if any of these guys can get some last-second spots and maybe get an extra position or two. And Kenneth Miller maybe looking at the inside, not quite on Chase Harris.
And now things might be getting a little bit more difficult to pass. We saw an absolutely chaotic restart with Baz. Why don't I say that? We have the 14 that goes wide, and we have about the second. How about Jacob Miller? And
We're under caution. We are under caution. Big one down the back straight. Watch out, Bradley Ream. Everyone toes. Luckily, just in time. Michael Young is destroyed. Nick Lopez once again. Kyler Sustry. Man, we might have a late race shootout here at Memphis.
Well, if we have a late race shootout, buckle up those seatbelts one more time, because it's going to be a crazy restart, just like what we saw early on.
And let's take a quick break to find out what brought out the third caution of the day here at Memphis. Well, here is what brought out the third caution of the day. No Clifton in turns number 1 and 2 expires a motor massively. Oil all over the racetrack down in turn number 2 and down the backstretch. These drivers trying to not get into it, but unfortunately for Beal, nowhere to go. Into the side. Logan Williams misses this by literal inches. Same with Owen Miles. But unfortunately for some of these guys back here, it does not. Kyler Sustry, Michael Young, William Ayers, Chris Reynolds, and Nick Lopez all involved in the back half of the field, unfortunately, with some more damage. And these guys back here, we're starting to get to the point where these guys are getting involved in multiple incidents here today. So very unfortunate for these guys. Their bad day just continues to get even.
Turns 1 and 2, Clifton Ollie was involved in one incident today, and he causes this one. Blows up a motor, nowhere to go for Beal, and just nowhere to go for the 10, 96, 33, my pick. Unfortunately, tough day for William Ayers, who started in 5th. Nick Lopez's second crash of the day, and a multi-car crash, and, well, this is going to change everything. I believe we will have a late race shootout. Can Beal hang on to get this first win of the season? Let's wait and see.
Welcome back here to Memphis International Raceway 3-lap shootout. This is going to get real good here, but quickly, cars out of the race from that are the 5 and no Clifton and the 96 of Michael Young. Nick Lopez is still going minus a hood, but he is still going to try to continue to gain at least some spots here. But it is going to be one heck of a finish. Pace car is going to go down to pit road. Bradley Ream, Jacob Miller, John Andrews, Juan Garcia, and Jordan Stout, the top 5. Who is going to take home the victory here at Memphis? This might be a wild restart. And we're green.
3 laps to go. Ream with a decent start, but Jacob Miller with an even better restart. And all over the back bumper of Bradley Ream. Canadians might have a shot if these two get side by side. It's going to be green, green, white checkered here at Memphis. 2 laps to go at the line. If Miller is able to catch up to Ream, he might have a shot. If Ream makes a mistake, Miller might have a shot. 2 laps to go.
But it's looking real good for Bradley Ream right now. He is pulling away from the Jacob Miller machine. But meanwhile, you guys, some guys back here making some moves. Chase Miller was able to get around Aaron Abel losing a couple spots here. He's trying not to bleed too much. And now here comes Juan Garcia. He wants that 3rd spot from John Andrews. Meanwhile, Bradley Ream is going to take it the white flag.
Bradley Ream is going to, looks like he's going to be able to hang on with a 3-lap shootout. Miller's going to gain a little bit in 1 and 2, trying to push it. One's a little bit wide, but off of turn number 3 and 4, he's going to do it.
Bradley Ream from the back to the front is going to win the Sunoco Race Fuels 350 here at Memphis. What a race here, a shootout to the end, was able to hold on some pit strategy, some cautions, untimely cautions, and what a race right there. It had it all, and Bradley Ream was able to survive the whole shenanigans and take home the victory. And unfortunate day for some of these guys like Logan Williams. Had a dominant car, but ultimately ended up in a position he didn't want to in 28th.
He's still going to be the point leader, I think, but his 32-point gap is going to shrink massively. And you know what? Great days for Jordan Stout. 4th in points is going to be inside the top 5 here today. And Bradley Ream, the race winner, was 6th in points entering today, and he's going to be moving on up a little bit. What a race here at Memphis. The first half was caution-free with the dominance of Logan Williams. And then we had the second half, and things got wild with a couple of cautions, one of crazy restart, some new faces and new spots on track, and at the end of it, with a 3-lap shout, Ream hangs on barely over Jacob Miller. He tried on that final lap, he was pushing it, but Jacob Miller just one spot short. What a race here at Memphis.
Yep, and like you said, Miller he was pushing, but just didn't have the car and the tires to do it. Of course, they were on old tires from that medium green flag run that we had. So top 10, Bradley Ream, Jacob Miller, Juan Garcia, John Andrews, Jordan Stout, Elijah Gordon, Kenneth Miller, Chase Harris, Tommy Tripp, and Aaron Abel. The rest of the field, unfortunately for Matthew Burnett, Nicholas Samadio, and Jason Albert, they were all finished one lap down. The No Clifton, Michael Young, and Sammy Messi crashed out of the race here today. I just want to check. Bradley Ream started 42nd in this race. So passing apparently was not a problem for that 22 machine. So that last to first challenge completed for Bradley Ream. And that is very impressive. Congratulations to Bradley Ream. And thank you all so much for watching the Sunoco Race Fuels 350 here at Memphis. It's glad to bring this Subway Cup Series back. And on behalf of Nathan Stapleton, I'm Travis Crampton, and we will see you guys for the next race.